everyone needs to get their minds just spiritually in alignment with what's really going on. All right, peace, peace, peace. What's really going on? Because there's questions, and you should have questions because it's yeah necessary. Necessary. Let's see. Let's get this echo. Make sure there's no echo coming in here. It's all necessary. Chat, studio chat, live stream chat. Let's see the live stream chat. Yes. So I just want to come in and say Islam, Islam, Islam to all of you. Peace and love. Um, it's a lot on the brain. I'm sure today. A lot's been going on. We got a strike going on at the ports. Things are happening that you were being warned were going to happen, didn't happen at the time they were supposed to happen, but still people were still trying to prepare you for what was to happen, what was going to come about. You know what I'm saying? Not for a scare tactic, but just to prepare. So now is the time that we're going to have to come together more than ever. It's like a push to come together because all nations are seeking peace. And guess who has the remedy to the peace? The remedy to the peace that has the remedy to the peace. We have the remedy through Islamism. It's an old time religion, Islamism. And if you're faithful and if you understand even what that's all about, then you even start understanding and unfolding the Moorish science behind it all. And this is so needed right now because our people, the people in general, because this has nothing to do with as I always say, no color has anything to do with this, y'all. This is about people. This is about the heart. This is about your compassionate heart. This is about whether you are even connected to your soul or not to even recognize the spirit. So you have to even recognize that your soul even exists to recognize this spirit. So then you can know how to navigate through this spiritual warfare that is going on right now with us, within you, outside of you, because everything that you're seeing outside is going on inside of you. So it might be stuff going on in your life just repetitiously. Things just are occurring. But look on the outside too. Start paying attention to what that may be. Because somewhere we're trying to get, someone's getting our attention. Something's getting our attention. And it needs our attention because we have fallen so far from even knowing. I've been seeing things where now, when my teacher was explaining to me how people don't even realize they have a soul, you'll talk about it, but you don't know that it's really there because you can't see it. And because you can't see it, you don't think it really exists. You say it exists, but in all reality, you play around with it. So those that are in touch with their soul's purpose, their soul being, there's other things that you see going on behind the scenes right now. A lot of things going on. From the trafficking, these ports being shut down, it has to be more than just that. Yes, these people got a lot of money. Y'all have to realize. From them PPP loans they were given to corporations. Not only did the NBA get them, the NFL got it, and all other big corporations got them. But did they disperse the money to the people they were supposed to? Even when they were getting the extra money that was supposed to go toward the people that either didn't get to work, got sick, and even added money for the overtime that people had to do. And most of the time it was the people at the ports that had to do it. You got to realize how you get your stuff. This is how we're so comfortable with allowing to depend on something else and someone else. We have given our everything to these people. This is how far from grace we have fallen. We have fallen so far from our soul that we have given our soul over to these people. Period. Everyone has sacrificed their self. Not just some, not just celebrities. You have too. You have sacrificed yourself too. In so many ways, you've sacrificed yourself and don't realize it. In so many ways. We have allowed all of this to go on for so long and never thought that it would come a time where this would happen. But we was warned. We've always been warned. We've been warned in scripture about stuff. When the wrath is coming, the prophets have came and taught us and told us that the wrath of Allah will be here. There is in the Moorish Science Temple of America, the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, we have a charter. And on our charter is a picture of our prophet at the bottom. And behind him is some red stuff. Most don't even, I think some think it's a cape. I don't know what some think it is. But it's actually fire because he's holding the fire back from catching us. He's holding the fire back from catching your behind and my behind too. This is what the prophets have done. But now the wrath of Allah has come upon this place. And it ain't no joke right now. And this is nothing to play with. You've played with your fate too long. You've played with your faith too long. You've played with what you so-called believe for too long. And now that time is up. It is sad to see the condition of the people in general. It's sad to see the condition of our country. We are watching not only the so-called people that you guys have raised to sovereign power, that the people raised to sovereign power. Now, let me tell you something. The prophets told us about this too. When you raise someone to sovereign power, the people do. And these same people that everybody talks so much stuff about that they raised to sovereign power ain't even showed up in some of these cities to check on these people. In North Carolina, in none of these places, in Georgia, places in Georgia they ain't even hit. I have clients that had to go see about their parents, where the trees are down and all of that. Excuse me, nobody's went to see about them. You don't hear about it on the news. No one's talking about it. You barely hearing about these ports, and the only reason why you're hearing about the port strikes is because it's pushing so hard on social media they have no choice but to cover it. That's why I say you use this platform to do what you need to do to get the message out that needs to be gotten out to people. Because this right now is nothing to play with. Do you hear me? You have people that are just being rescued from their homes. There's still no power in places. This fire that's in Georgia keeps catching on fire for some reason. This bio lab keeps catching on fire for some reason. And now it's starting to blanket over the whole city. So now it's dropping in the food supply that you're growing outside. You don't know where this stuff is going. It's in the air. What is really going on? Well, behind those port strikes, I think they about to let in. They about to show y'all what's in them containers. Remember Kendrick's video? They're dancing in them containers. Remember that. Remember that video? They not like us. And then he comes and says, let's watch it die. Come on. You have to pay attention to what's going on. They're telling you. They're telling you in secret, you got to catch on. Everything ain't just going to be told to you out like that. But people, are you understanding what is really happening right now? We're so worried about other things and distractions that do you realize people are going to starve in a minute? People are not going to be able to survive in a minute. Your job, okay, right on. None of that is going to even be able to help. We're going to have to be here for one another. It's about to truly take each and every one of us to come together. Because the people you raise to sovereign power ain't thinking about you. The people that you have raised to sovereign power ain't thinking about you and ain't been thinking about you. Real talk. Because where are those people when these people need them? I did see one person show up to Carolina and that's hitting these Georgia places. And this the same man y'all claim is so racist and y'all don't like. But he sure went to see about them people and he donated his own money. Not no money that came out of our pocket. But I'm watching not only press briefings with this administration. Where the House Speaker, when they ask her, why haven't you guys went to see about those people in Carolina? What are y'all going to do? She closes the book and says, I got to go. Like she has nothing to say. They asked Biden. He said, I was doing something. I was on the phone for 2 hours. They asked, oh, Kamala. She's sitting there looking goofy like she don't want to say nothing. So do you not see that it's even coming at your back door too? And we're going to need each other. This has nothing to do with just one person and the color of your skin. Because when I'm watching them people at them ports, it is every nationality that I can think of. Everyone's going to be affected. One day dilapidates us for 7. Is y'all not understanding that? That's gasoline. That's everything. Because we have handed it all over to them. Here you go. We want y'all to be our new masters. And everything's being made everywhere else. So that's why we got to depend on all this stuff. If we were manufacturing our own stuff on our own land, doing what we were supposed to do instead of being lazy and putting money in everyone else's pocket, but our own, got all these degrees and accolades, but ain't using them for our advantage for nothing in the world. We'll use them for the benefit of others, but we're not using them to uplift ourselves or to uplift our communities or our nation. And it's sad. But now, when I said we was in the 12th hour, y'all thought that was a game. Not a game at all. This is not a game. For none of y'all. Stop thinking that because whatever it is, whatever bubble you live in, or whatever you might just think is all right, whatever is going on in your little brain, that you can't seem to come to the fact that this is really popping off right now. And yes, ma'am, it might be at your back door. And yes, ma'am, it probably is coming to your back door. Stop playing. Y'all been playing with Allah for too long. And now the ancestors show did come back. And they ain't too happy neither. With none of this nonsense. With the separation of people, the hate toward one another, the hurting of one another. Not happy at all. Y'all think this is a game out here for real. It's not a game. Y'all put these people in power. You need to be mad at yourself for putting these folks in power. We have instructions on how to select a government. In most of our teachings, if they even teaching you anything. See, Prophet Noble Drew Ali brought this, and he brought it and introduced it to this part, to the Northwest America, to the Americas. He introduced it. But it didn't become taught until he came back in another form. He didn't have time to come back as a baby. Call it what you want to. He didn't have time to come back as that. So he had to find a form to come in so this could be taught to us. So we will understand who we are and whose we are. So we stop walking around here like we're ignorant. We have rights. We have birthrights. Ain't nothing a piece of paper can give you. Birthrights is your birthright. It ain't got nothing to do with a piece of paper. A piece of paper can't free you. You got to know you're free in your mind. Y'all are so shackled in your head that you don't even understand what freedom really is about. You don't understand it. Sad to say, sad to say. Islam, Islam, Islam. Welcome in with Latay J. Bay, your Moorish sister. We gather here to build on solutions. Now more than ever are we needing unity, and it takes the collective to do such. We as Moors must be active and not passive in the ways of our 5 principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. That we must go teach to all 4 corners of the world. Every nation is seeking peace. As our Prophet Noble Drew Ali spoke back in the 1920s, and we are the ones that hold the keys to the remedy for peace, here and all over the world. Peace and love. Are you serious? Right now, I am just like, when I tell you, The time is now. It's no more waiting. No more waiting. You must take your rightful place in the affairs of men. And that's not in no cruel way. We have to understand what compassion and love is about. For this man, Donald Trump, to go down here to these southern states, and these states that have been affected by Helene, and get out his own pocket some money to donate to them, and figure out how to get them cell phone service and a way to communicate. And they're dependent on each other to make it right now. It looks like Katrina all over again. This looks like Katrina all over again. Remember when your boy Bush flew over Katrina and didn't even pay no attention to our people? And let all of our people perish in the way they did, and children were separated from their parents? Like I keep asking y'all, where them children at? Y'all so worried about the diddler. Diddler got something to do with them children too. Y'all so worried about these whack celebrities that out here that been doing this stuff. And the ones that sitting here talking about, oh, stop tearing down your people. What? Are y'all serious? Tearing down our people? These people been doing this. And we been telling y'all that stuff. And you want to sit here and act like it's not happening? Oh, don't say nothing about our people because we're tearing. You tear your people down every day by doing what you do. You tear yourself down. We excuse stuff in ways through the music, through the youth, through all of that. That just, to me, it makes no sense. But we want respect, and we ain't even respecting our elders. We don't even respect our elders. When our elders are asking for something, and when they putting their foot down, and they're saying that something should be the way it is, we don't even respect that no more. Really? So that tell you, the people walking around here acting like they got a soul and ain't got one. Because they ain't got a bit of compassion in them. You don't even respect people's space. Then you can't even hold accountability for the things you do. It's a shame. And now we're sitting back and watching our people suffer and struggle, watching children suffer and struggle still. Children. We still don't act like this exists. Let me tell you something, baby. All the stuff that's happening, I done been through it before. The homelessness, all of that with my children. So TikTok wasn't around when me and my children were homeless. Latay had to figure it out. Giving all praises to Allah for always getting through it all. But it wasn't pretty raising 4 boys and me being me. Me with 4 boys. So seeing the things that are going on now and the help that people need has been needed for a long time. Y'all, this ain't nothing new. People been crying out for a long time. This is nothing new. And now people are just silent. No one wants to say nothing. Afraid to open your mouth for what? For what? Prophets have sacrificed to open their mouth. From the Pacs to the Martin Luther Kings to the Malcolm X's to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali's to the Jesus to the Muhammad's to the Confucius to the Buddhas, to them all. Sacrifice for their people to open their mouth. Because nobody else wants to open their mouth. Nobody wants to take the sacrifice to say something. You see something, say something. Y'all want to say something about the wrong things. Y'all don't want to say something about the things that are important and where y'all should really be questioning some stuff. And I warned you, you're going to see some things that's going to scare the mess out of you, even down to the most conscious people. Because this has no respect for person. It has no respect for person. And I had to really, it was like just, woo, all of this going on. More should be speaking out. More should be saying something. Because as I said, it's about to affect each and every one of us. In one way or another, if it hasn't already started affecting you. Do you realize with the imports being closed, how much stuff will skyrocket where you can't afford to go buy it? So when people were telling you this years ago, then months ago, then weeks ago, and now you in it, don't go panic doing stuff. That'll be the worst thing you could ever do. Everyone needs to strategize and come together because they're doing this. They're pushing this agenda. This is their reasoning. They want to try to push you to go do something. Push you to go vote for them. They have no money. The place is broke. Why you think they can't go give no money to nobody? Because they have none. They have none. They gave it all away, remember? Y'all forgot they gave it away? Do y'all even look at the debt clock? Or y'all that sleep? Or all that you watch is your account? But do you really look at that debt clock to see how much money do they really owe folks? And how much is on each and every one of our heads? That they draw from every day to pay something back that they're never going to pay back. That they're never going to pay back. When? When they going to pay it back? When? They still ain't paid back for the atrocities they did do. Time is up. It's time for everybody to go back home. But the people that's from here. We've been dogged out and used for too long. And all of this has been built off the sweat of our ancestors' back. Everybody's nation's been built off of our ancestors' back. Everybody's nation. Because everybody's nation come here to come up and then take their butt back home or send their money back home. So they're still coming up off of us. Nobody's reaching back to give back to nobody over here. We're always giving to someone else. And allowing everyone to freely come over here and do what they do. And then disrespect the people that was born here, that was bred here, that families' blood is spilled all over this bad boy. From the native people, the original people that were here. Forget about who just came over here. No, we were already here. And every other nation still coming up off of us. Only come over here to get what they want and then bounce. That's why these people that y'all keep thinking because they look like you is you and ain't you, because they are not of this nation. That's the difference. They're claiming a different nationality. And you think, oh, because she black. No, that's not a nationality, boo. And that's the ignorance of our people, and it has to stop. Because now the time we're in, please understand if they do release this stuff and this thing goes down, where they send these troops over here. I work downtown at the dispensary, where behind it was the train tracks. It's the train tracks. And when I worked there, I showed y'all a video. I have to go back and find that video. I believe it's on TikTok. It's when TikTok first kind of came out too. And they were bringing in United Nations military vehicles on a train track that you wouldn't see coming through the city because it's the one that sits lower, that comes beneath, up out the ground, and then goes where it needs to go. And you're not going to see it based on traffic because of the way it's built. And this was, it was about 2 years ago. And then was warned that some stuff would go down in the next 22 months. Well, guess what? These 22 months have arrived. And I see everything that this brother prophesied. They call him Your Majesty. And honestly, everything he said, I am watching that pop off in the time frame he specifically said it would pop off. This is what's really happening. Prophecy is taking its place, and it's not playing. So whatever you haven't believed in, it's just, all right, you're going to see something. And it's going to make you believer. Because as it's written and as it said, every knee will bow and every tongue will confess. I promise you. And that's just not meant biblically to confess that, but to confess what the stuff they've been doing. Because Prophet Noble Drew Ali said the Europeans gonna have to tell the truth. They're gonna have to tell you the truth. And that has nothing to do with this. When I say that, that has nothing to do with this. Because some of that is involved in it. So that's why it has nothing to do with that. That's why I say your soul is important. It's important to be in touch with that. It's important to know that that is there and understand the essence of what the soul is, not the actions. Because the actions got soul that are outer. So that's why you only think, you're in your mind, you're like, I do got a soul. Because it has actions. Thinking, understanding, reasoning, and willing. Those are the actions of the soul. But that's not the essence of the soul at all. The essence of the soul is far too fine for your fleshly eyes to see. And in society and other religions, all that they have taught you is if you can't see it, touch it, smell it, taste it, or hear it, it doesn't exist. They lie to you. Then you don't even believe that Allah exists. Or you don't even believe God exists. Because in that's what you're taught. Islamism, that's not what you're taught. Islamism is an old-time religion. Because it's teaching the truth. We hold the keys to this peace on earth and goodwill to man. We hold those keys through these lessons. Not because they just say they're Moorish Americans or they're Moors. We're talking about holding the keys through these divine lessons, these divine teachings. It's how we hold these keys. We are over this. We was placed over this. And each and every one of you are Moors. If you go back into your history and even understand, we're tying back to bloodline. We're not talking about the shade. We talking bloodline. We ain't talking about shade of skin. We ain't talking about state you from, what hospital you was born in, what bed number you had. We ain't talking about none of that. We talking about straight up bloodline. Take you all the way back to Jesus. Before Jesus. All the way back to where you can't go no more, to antiquity and beyond. Take you back. Because our prophets left their footprints clearly cut. You know they went that way. They just ain't telling you to go that way. Like most ministers and sheiks and anyone else to tell, oh, go that way. Yeah, because but they ain't never even went that way. They just pointing the way and ain't even went to chance that way. But they telling you to do something they ain't never even did. To see if you gonna get messed up in it. And that's how people get messed up in this so-called paperwork of thinking that's what's going to make you free. You was born free. You were born free. Nobody makes you free. Nobody. But you. If you think you a slave in your head, that's you. You're still caught up in mental slavery if you think that. If you're still playing into this system with these celebrities and these goofy, whatever you want to call these people that y'all raise in sovereign power, y'all gonna keep doing that, you're gonna keep getting the same thing. Keep sticking your hand in the fire thinking it ain't hot. The only way it's gonna change is when we stand up and stand in the affairs of man and take our place in the affairs of man. And be the ones to where we raise our own to sovereign power. We have nothing that's made here anymore. I want my clothes made here. I don't want my clothes made in China. I don't. I'm tired of everything I get that says that. Because I know my people are talented and we had all that before. But now we done gave everything to everybody else and now we got to depend on stuff to be shipped here. And then I watch people on social media like this is a joke. This ain't a joke. You worried about a Shein order and a Temu order and people about to starve? Are y'all serious right now? I'm just looking at the ignorance of my people like, really? There are babies out here being taken. Some babies are in some of them containers that y'all waiting for y'all's Temu and y'all's Sheen from somewhere that you don't even make it. You still involving and helping someone else. You still building someone else's nation and not your own. It's a shame. You give so much into their system that you can't stop. You so addicted to them. It's like a drug. Y'all be on sugar highs with these people. These fake people. In all this fakeness that they do. I was so upset the other day. I ordered something from Amazon because I needed a storage container. Because y'all know I'm in transition of finding somewhere to live. So I needed a little storage container to put my things in so they weren't sitting on the floor. So in the picture, the thing looked big. It say 75 gallon, right? So I'm thinking it's big. The box gets here. I'm like, okay, it's collapsible. Cool. All right. When I got it and put it together, it looked nothing like the picture. And the box said where it was made. It wasn't made here. It was made over there. So when I put it together in the cheapness of it, and still with it costing over $100, which it was gifted to me. But still, I'm like, are you serious right now? This plastic, if it pushed too hard, it's going to collapse. If too much weight gets on it for $100, I could have went to IKEA and got something. But thinking Amazon got some stuff that's made here, Rubbermaid could have made that and made it better. But it came from another place. Why? 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 Why it come from somewhere else? Hey. Why it come from somewhere else? We have people here that make them same things. That make them same things. I'm not doing a versus my love. I'm doing a study on Moorish Science. If you want to stay in here. So we're with that being said, it's just there's way too much that is going on out here, and people are taking this like this is a game. Like, I'm not on social media to play games with people. On here to get the truth. To do as the prophet told you. I just told you from over here that me, as a Moor, must be active, not passive, in the ways of my 5 principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. That I must go teach to all 4 corners of the world. Every nation seeking peace. So I'm not seeking to play no games with y'all. With nobody. I'm here to figure out what is the solution and helping solving what's going on between us. And stop the strife and the fighting. So that peace can reign. And peace will be goodwill to us. We need to be in Allah's will. That's the only will. We're doing our own will right now. And that's what's messing us up. Our own so-called will. Because your soul in its actions. And the soul got actions, as I said. So it shows you it's the outward show of your soul that you only dealing with. You ain't even went in deep to that bad boy to really find out what's going on. It's just all on the outward. Oh, I'm in love. All these emotions. That's outward show, y'all. That's not going within the soul to really find out what's really going on. To really activate this love energy that we should be activating. Because we're never going to learn how to love with all this outward stuff. There's no love in it. You got to go deep within. You got to go in order to even see what this real essence of soul really is. So we got to get it together. No more. Y'all raise these people to sovereign power. Y'all raise these people to sovereign power. And then be talking about I need to be a sovereign person. But y'all raise these people to sovereign power over you. We serve a sovereign God, so we don't need a sovereign piece of paper. Allah sovereign all by himself. Allah, mother and father are sovereign by themselves. They don't need no help being sovereign. They don't need a piece of paper, so neither do you if it's your birthright. You're just supposed to fall in line and do what you need to do. Do what you're supposed to do. You supposed to stand in the affairs of men. You got all this knowledge and sense and degrees and been to school and did this and ran the streets and did all the things that you've done. Put it to use then. Become the mayor, governor, congressman, senator, even if not the president. Councilman, something. Benefit your nation. Stop looking for your nation and keep doing stuff for you. Do something for your nation so in return your nation can take care of you. But first you got to know who your nation is, and it ain't black, Negro, colored, African American, Ethiopian, or whatever name they going to give you next. That's not a nationality at all. You throw it around, but it's not what it's really. This is why there's no rights for you. This is why they laugh when you say, oh, give the money to the descendants of the slaves. Who is that? How are you going to prove it? How are you going to prove it? Do you have a log that states that they were there? Let's see. Because now they're going to want it to be proven. They're going to want you to prove that. Like they want you to prove that you're Native American. They want you to prove everything. You can't keep falling for the trickery. You can't keep falling for the lies. You have to understand who you are. That's why nationality was brought, so there would never be a question. Prophet Noble Drew Ali attended conferences and things to make sure that they could never change who we were. They could never put a trademark on us. So when he went to Cuba to that conference, that's what he was making sure. If you go read about what the conference was all about, and you understand it had to do with trademarks, not only on people, but corporations, businesses. He did the work that needed to be done. It's that we need to follow the footsteps and fall into line and get into the affairs of men. And stop acting like we scared and like we need a master to take care of us. Or we need somebody to tell us what to do. Like we don't know what right from wrong. Didn't your mama pop your hand and tell you when not to touch something? Didn't she? So act like you know then. Stop walking around here like you don't know because you want to be ignorant. You want to be asleep. You love the suffering. You must love suffering. And if you love suffering, then you're a part of this supremacy. If you love watching your people suffer, if you think this is cute that you don't know who you are, then you're a part of white supremacy. You're the problem. You think it's cute to be black and proud and ain't nobody looking at you like that, and that's why everybody else is getting something because you something that don't even really have no standing nowhere. It ain't a nation. You telling them immigrants get this, and I'm not getting nothing because they have a nation. The Venezuelans come from Venezuela. The Haitians come from Haiti. Do you see the correlation? There's no such thing called black. Show me. Go get the map and show me something that say black. Show me something that say Negro. Show me some landmass. I need a continent to say black, Negro, colored. I need a continent. Show me. Show me. Show me a state where they all come from. So this is why you ain't getting nothing. You want to know why? That's why. Because you don't attach yourself to your nation. You attach yourself to the type of food you eat, to the neighborhood you live in, and it ain't going to do nothing for you if somebody came to take it. The color you wear, and it ain't going to do nothing for you. Polo just came out with a shirt that got all the flags on it. Excuse me. The rags, the flags, the scarves. I don't know what you want to call them. But every last color is on this shirt. And it's almost a $300 shirt. So you telling me y'all about to come up off a gang culture? This ain't cute. None of that is cute. And then y'all fall into play with allowing to be a part of the downfall of the people. That's why I said, anybody that is for that stuff, anybody that's a part of it, you're a part of the problem. You a part of white supremacy because you're a part of taking your own people down. Period. You think that's cool? You think that's cute? You think this music is cute? Little girl then came out with some lip gloss, and it's named after venereal diseases, STDs. And y'all gonna go buy that stuff for your daughters to put it on their mouth? I'm confused. Shout out to my girl Daybird, a real makeup artist with real lip gloss and lipstick. Beasting on them. I promise you, beasting on them too. Matter of fact, I got on the one. Lips don't get dry or nothing. Amazing, amazing way she put it together. And this is a real makeup artist, not somebody in the garage thinking they know what they're doing. This is a real professional makeup artist that is amazing. So if you're going to support something that really, you know what I'm saying, has value and has meaning. Because when you support stuff like that, I have to wonder. You're a part of the destruction of your people, and I don't think you like your people. Ain't about whether men like the ladies or ladies like the men. I don't think y'all like y'all's people at all. Because y'all so for the destruction of the people. It comes on the radio. So to me, the radio personalities are a part of it. Because y'all allow that stuff to be played. Why you don't say something? You know it's destroying you. You have children. You have youth. And just because you might not let your children listen to it at home, you don't know when they listening to it when they ain't around you. So stop thinking that. The world influences these children. Stop thinking they don't, and stop thinking you perfect. And you're going to keep them in a perfect bubble. You're not. It's not happening. You're not even living in a reality when you think that. And the way things are just being loosely sold to our children makes me think y'all are part of this children trafficking. Makes me start looking at a lot of y'all differently. Because underneath all of this is them taking them and doing things and getting to them through these platforms and apps. You're so quick to put it in their hand because it keeps them from bothering you. It keeps them from bothering you. When they need your time, they need your attention. Like you're an example. You can't keep thinking that they don't see what you're doing. They see everything you're doing. And believe me, it will come back and bite you in your behind when they become adults. And they tell you about yourself. Oh, I didn't like when you did such and such. Because some of y'all telling y'all parents about themselves right now. What you didn't like what they did and did it. But us as parents, we need to pay more attention to what we're doing. So those things don't come back and bite you in the butt. And then you got to go look in the mirror and say to yourself, wow, they seen that? So this is why this is important. This is why these messages are important. Because it's just like people are playing. This is no game. So back to what I was saying about these lessons. And I want to tell y'all how y'all ended up putting these people in sovereign power. Over you. Islam. So I'm going to come out of the divine instructions. Let me rise and give honors. My apologies. I give honors to the divine instructions from the Holy Prophet. I give honors to the divine constitution and bylaws. I give honor to our prayer. Islam, I give honor to each and every one of you. The divine instructions from the holy prophet. Holy instructions from the prophet, magistrate, and subjects. Now this is when we look at it, this is what you got to listen to what's being said here. O thou, the favorite of heaven. Who's the favorite of heaven? Whom the sons of man, thy equals, have agreed to raise to sovereign power and set as a ruler over themselves. Consider the ends and importance of their trust, far more than the dignity and height of thy station. I just told y'all somebody went to North Carolina and they ain't even in no position. They ain't sitting in no station as no president right now. And they went down there and they gave money out of their own pocket. And it's going around to these places that have been affected by this hurricane and taking money out their own pocket. And Mr. Musk is coming to give them cell phones. It don't matter what you might think about neither one of them. It's the fact that that's who's doing the work right now. You ain't doing the work, so you should have nothing bad to say about nobody that's out there doing the work. Because obviously they showing some compassion. Somebody understands they got a soul. And it's only the right thing to do. Thou art clothed in purple and seated on a throne, the crown of majesty invested in thy temples. The scepter of power is placed in thy hand, but not for thyself. Were these ensigns given, not meant for thy own, but for the good of thy kingdom. So this is supposed to be for the good of the kingdom. These ensigns, which were our national flags, our nation of flags, not meant for thy own, but for the good of thy kingdom. So this is supposed to be for the good of us. We raise these people to sovereign power. So it is we the people, for the people, by the people. You just ain't activating as a people. The glory of a king is the welfare of his people. His power and dominion rest on the hearts of his subjects. The mind of a great prince is exalted with the grandeur of his situations. He evolveth high things and searcheth for business worthy of his power. He calleth together the wise men of his kingdom. He consulteth among them with freedom and heareth the opinions of them all. So he sits to listen to the opinions of them all. Y'all talked about this man hardcore. I watched that man that y'all so-called hate so bad sit down in Detroit, Michigan, across the table next to sisters, next to Asiatic people, and had a conversation about making sure they can have a community college in a neighborhood that they could get to. And he agreed to it. This was while he was in office. He sat to listen. Even when Kanye went to speak, and y'all dogged my boy out for going to speak to him about bringing manufacturing back to this country and us making our own stuff. Because now with this happening, this is why he was asking for the manufacturing to come back to America. You done sold it off to everybody. All y'all did. You went up in these businesses and built these businesses for these other countries so they could stay here, collect off of us, send the money back, and just come up. Yeah, Prophet Noble Drew Ali done, the spirit is here right now. Nobody been handling their business. And you don't realize the eyes that really see you. That's why you got to give back to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, because you got to understand who really sees you. He looketh among his people with discernment. He discovereth the abilities of men and employeth them according to their merits. That's the only one I know that I got. I'll reason why I got some money. First stimulus check or any of that. Make sure my business was still all right. I had a little money to be able to invest into what I had. That didn't come from this administration or the one before, the last one that was there. Who? Where? I at least could afford to go work in a salon right now instead of trying to break my back being sick for the past 90 days or so, something would be there to help out. Hmm. Hmm. Wonder. But y'all keep talking so big on these other people that ain't looked out for you not one time, including these goofy celebrities y'all keep following. Because, boy, if I could tell you the truth about some of them. His magistrates are just, his ministers are wise, and the favorite of his bosom deceiveth him not. He smileth on the arts, and they flourish. The sciences improve beneath culture of his hand. And you have to understand, even through this, these are through the prophecies. These are from the prophets speaking. So they're giving you degrees on how to notice and what to do and how you would elect, what you look for when you do go to elect someone over you, if that's what you're gonna do. So whether it's in a synagogue, a church, a temple, any of that, a mosque, pay attention, listen to the instructions. Then you know how to choose that. You know who you would like to be over you. Because it's going to show in their words, in their works, in their deeds, their thoughts, words, and deeds. It's going to show. With the learned and ingenuous, he delighteth himself. He kindleth in their breasts emulation, and the glory of his kingdom is exalted by their labors. The spirit of the merchant who extendeth his commerce, the skill of the farmer who enriches his lands, the ingenuity of the artist, the improvements of the scholar, all these he honoreth with his favor, or rewardeth with his bounty. It's all needed. It's all needed to be used, but it's all needed to be used in unity, togetherness. Not thinking because you got something you better than the next. No, you use it for the improvement of your people, the improvement of your community, the improvement of your nation. This is why you go get all this stuff. You don't use it to sit on it and be selfish with it. You use it for the improvements. He planteth new colonies. He buildeth strong ships. He openeth rivers for convenience. He formeth harbors for safety. His people aboundeth in riches, and the strength of his kingdom increaseth. Marcus Garvey had his own ships. The first Asiatic, I believe, to own ships, to own those cruise ships or whatever. Beautiful, beautiful. You see, you're even learning how you see how they position things, so it makes it easier for you, not harder for you, not to dilapidate you and put you in a horrible position. No. So watch you suffer. Sit back and watch you suffer, and have no kind of no account. They don't whatever. That's what they feel. He frameth his statutes with equity and wisdom. His subjects enjoy the fruits of their labor in security, and their happiness consists in the observance of the law. He foundeth his judgments on the principle of mercy, but in the punishment of offenders, but in the punishment of offenders he is strict and impartial. His ears are open to the complaints of his subjects. He restraineth the hands of their oppressors, and he delivereth them from their tyranny. This is how you look for a true leader. This is how you look for someone to be over you. If you're going to look for someone, not to say that someone may be the answer to all your questions, but at least you know what to look for in searching for this. Not just going off your emotions, but really taking the time to study the person. Because through these instructions, you have to study them in order to see where this even happens with them. His people, therefore, look up to him as a father. With reverence and love, they consider him as the guardian of all they enjoy. Their affection unto him begetteth in his breast a love of the public. The security of their happiness is the object of his care. No murmurs against him arise in their hearts. The machinations of his enemies endanger not the state. His subjects are faithful and firm in his cause. They stand in his defense as a wall of brass. The army of a tyrant flieth before them as a chaff before the wind. Security and peace bless the dwelling of his people, and glory and strength encircle his throne forever. These are words from a prophet. These are the things we should be looking for when we're even looking for leadership. When we're looking for anyone to be over us, when it comes to these temples or anything. How you know they live in Islamism? How do you know they're living Islam? How do you know they're living these principles? How do you know they're living these laws? The prophet was so intentional when he brought this and introduced it. Intentional, so when it was being taught, and if you're really, really studying it as you should day by day, not just when you feel like it, not when times get hard and now you got to pick it up, but every day eat from it and study it, it unfolds to you in ways that you can't even imagine. The magic comes out of here. And you can't walk around like you better than nobody. Because I promise you, you'll pick this bad boy up and find yourself in it. Your lower self. You'll turn to the page and it'll be you speaking to you through your lower self. So you can't come over here with no games to be played. This is real stuff over here. This Moorish Science ain't nothing to play with. The truth is too harsh for most of y'all, the majority of the people. The truth is too harsh. You can't take the truth. You can't handle the truth. Because you're too emotional. You're too strung up on emotions instead of what's real and what the truth really is. What the reality is. You want to live in this fairy tale world and not deal with this truth. But that's not it. As I said, coming to your back door too. You can think not, you can think that you above it all and you got it all together. I don't know, do you? Because honestly, I don't feel no one's prepared. When prophecy take place, ain't nobody prepared. You can tell even in history how no one was prepared. Because it's going to take each other. It's going to take all of us coming together. No matter your color, your creed, whatever. But I advise you to know yourself. Know yourself for real, for real. Just in case they come knocking and snatching. At least you know what nation you belong to. And if you speak the right nation, your show won't leave your nation. You gotta learn about it. You gotta know it. Because other than that, all you're doing is complaining, and you're going to keep complaining, and nobody's going to hear you. Until you take a stand and really come with this. I know who I am. Sure do. And this is who I am. This is how I roll. This is what I stand for. Our first principle is love. So who taught you how to love? Who taught us how to love? Because we're supposed to love instead of hate. And truly, that's all that's going on in this world. Is a bunch of hate. And we think by pushing each other away that it's going to make it better. We think by women and men fighting amongst one another is going to make it better. We think culture and culture against culture is going to make it better. None of that's going to make it better. Color against color. Nation against nation. None of that's going to make it better. We have to come to peace with one another. So, through love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. It's the only way we're going to get there. Justice is going to have to be served. Because it's like as if we got to go backwards and even to learn what that love is to get to that love degree. It's like we got to go back. Start with justice for the freedom, for the peace, for the truth, for the love. That's what we need. But we can no longer fight amongst each other anymore, y'all. Love is a high degree. Allah is love. Jesus is love. So if we were made in the image, you think we're not love? We're that same energy. So we should be doing those same things out of love. In the support of one another. And you don't have to be violent and mean and evil and cause all that. You don't have to do it. We can always do things from a peaceful way. The sword is mightier than the pen. The pen is mightier than the sword, but the tongue is mightier than them both. But you don't have to use your tongue loose and in a violent way. You can use it in a very intellectual way to get people to listen, to have people hear you. You don't have to use it in a vulgar way, in a mean way. You don't have to cut nobody up with it into a million pieces. But your voice can be heard if you come in an intelligent tone. They'll want to hear you. They'll want to listen to you. We need to learn to be more of that. So then they will hear us. All the screaming and yelling and marching is not going to do it for us, y'all. Because they know all they got to do is push our emotions for a minute and then we go sit down. And then they don't hear from us no more until something else happens to push our emotions again. So we have to get off their will. We have to come off of their will. Because they're pushing the will right now. They're pushing your will. You're allowing them to control your will. So we're not doing that no more. Someone's come on here and speak about that. So I'm sending out love energy to all the dock workers that are on strike right now. I just send up prayer. I just send up affirmation for you all that things get back to where they need to be, because I could truly understand what you may be going through and what it could be, especially in times like this when everything is high. Don't talk about what nobody makes and how because they were making that they should be all right. Then people put their life on the line. They stayed working all through the pandemic. All through it, they stayed working. To make sure we had things, to make sure medicine was delivered, to make sure that stuff was where it needed to be. So we need to give more respect to that, more love to that. Pay attention. Keep your head on swivel. Stop just keeping it just right there. Like, use your peripheral sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Turn around. See something. Dig into it deeper. Don't just surface level this stuff, because it's deeper than what you're seeing in front of you. It really is. The veil is lifted, and y'all have to stop trying to pull the veil back over your eyes because you don't want to see it. Stop pulling that veil over your eyes. It's not. You're making it harder on the collective. You're making it harder on the energy to do what it needs to do. Alright, so I will talk to y'all later. Peace and love. It's been good.